Now, the top focus for the day continues to be the IndiGo meltdown, and amid the chaos that is still underway for the fourth consecutive day, Centre cracks down on IndiGo over refunds. IndiGo told to clear all refunds without any further delay. Several IndiGo flights have been cancelled across India over the past few days. Passengers have been left in the lurch, await refund of tickets. The MoCA directs IndiGo to clear all pending passenger refunds without delay. Remember, IndiGo had in fact issued a statement yesterday itself saying that they are providing all assistance in terms of accommodation, refreshments for people who are stuck at the airports, but more importantly, cancellations are being done in a planned way and rescheduling is also being done with refunds being made immediately. However, many at the airport who are still in fact stuck there seem to in fact bring in different voices saying that that is not the ground reality. Amit Bhardwaj joining me on the broadcast to bring us more details on this. Amit, very good afternoon to you. What are you learning in terms of what exactly is the situation as to whether IndiGo is indeed clearing refunds or not? But now, while you tell us that, also give us information with regards to this crackdown. The MoCA saying that yes, IndiGo will have to, without failure, clear all refunds as soon as possible.
Right, Shreya. Two very important directions have been issued this morning by the Ministry of Civil Aviation. So, one in regards to IndiGo, the other one in regards to the airfare hike. So, coming to the IndiGo fiasco, for the days while passengers were left in lurch, now they are facing major difficulty in the refund process, and that is why the MoCA has directed IndiGo to ensure that the entire refund process for the flights that have been cancelled during this disruption era of IndiGo, needs to be completed, and the deadline has been fixed for 7th of December, that is tomorrow, 8 p.m. So the IndiGo will have to process the entire refund process for all of the flights that were delayed or cancelled, because obviously passengers had to face a major problem at the respective airports across India. That's one. The second, order has been issued by MoCA in regards to the airfare capping. So it has been noticed that because of the IndiGo fiasco, airfare prices were surging immensely, and the passengers were facing further problem because of that, and that is why airlines have been told that regulatory powers have been used by MoCA, and airfare tabs will be enforced henceforth, and nobody will be allowed to, cross the airfare tabs that have been prescribed by the ministry. So, two major decisions taken by the Ministry of Civil Aviation today in regards to the aviation disruption that India witnessed in the past 4 days. Back to you.
Absolutely, Amit. And as you speak of the very other particular point that's been brought in with regards to opportunist pricing, rather the crackdown over the opportunist pricing, let's also bring our viewers that very information. But Amit, do stay with us. Civil Aviation Ministry takes note, and the airlines have mandated to adhere to the fare caps. And the Aviation Ministry, in fact, monitors fares by the airlines, as Aviation Ministry warns airlines on the price surge, which my colleague was just mentioning. This is another direction that's been made by the Aviation Ministry: regulate prices or face action. That is what we are speaking of, because remember, ever since these delays and cancellations have started taking place, while airlines like the SpiceJet have come out to say that they will be mounting more flights to their schedules to help out the crisis, the prices of these very flights were soaring to amounts as high as almost 80,000 for a one-way trip. So that indeed was causing a lot of problem and only adding to the current crisis at hand. So Amit, yes, while you were mentioning this very point of regulatory prices, airlines like the Air India, there is others like the SpiceJet. SpiceJet specifically had come out to say that yes, we will help the situation, but the prices that one could see on the very flights, they were soaring to amounts unimaginable. And that too at a time when such cancellations have been causing disruptions across India.
Shreya, you have two opportunities to build your brand identity in moment of someone else's crisis. And that could have been a case for many of the Indian airlines, more so for the secondary players, which have a very limited market share. But what was witnessed amidst the IndiGo fiasco was surging airfare at several sectors across India and across airlines. So that is why the Ministry of Civil Aviation has also cracked the whip on that front. As you were mentioning, the air prices going up. There have been sectors, for instance, Ranchi or Mumbai or Bhopal. All of these airports suddenly saw a surge in the ticket prices in the middle of the IndiGo fiasco. And possibly this was an opportunity for the airlines to actually galvanize their brand identity. But it was what happened was a usual airfare hike as and when the demand goes up. That particular trend was visible at this point in time in the middle of the crisis as well. And that is why the Ministry of Civil Aviation has cracked the whip. The regulatory powers have been used by MoCA, and all airlines across sector have been told that they will have to ensure that airfare remains within the capping of the prescribed sectors. So that the airlines will have to follow. And what I'm given to understand is that a control room has been also set up by the ministry to actually keep a clear tab monitoring of the airfares across sectors, across airlines. Back to you.
Right, Amit. Well, you're very right when you say that there are certain times when people do end up, or rather brands do end up taking opportunities like this to build their own name. This is unfortunately the reality today. This is a situation which has caused immense distress to thousands of people across the country, and despite that we see the airlines taking advantage of the situation, if one may call so, to in fact price their flights at a much higher rate than it is supposed to be, and that is what the crackdown is now on. Now we have more breaking news coming in. There is no end, viewers, to this IndiGo chaos across India, as over 470 IndiGo flights have been cancelled even today as we speak. There's flight cancellations in Delhi, Mumbai, Bengaluru, Ahmedabad. Flights cancelled in Jaipur, Pune, Patna, Mangaluru. Furious passengers have been stranded across these airports throughout the country, and this is the sorry state of affairs as we speak. In fact, as we were speaking to an aviation expert earlier, he had to say he's in fact called it a national disaster at this point that we are all looking at, with passengers stranded in airports even for as many as 48 hours without any clarity or solution being provided by IndiGo as to when will they be able to fly next, whether they will have any rescheduled flights which will actually take off. Because let us tell you, rescheduling is taking place on paper, but flights still aren't moving from the airport. So this is the current condition. There's no end to the meltdown at this given point. This is the fourth consecutive day in the month of December, the very first week of December that we see this. In fact, day 5 today as we speak. Let's take you through all that's happened in these 5 days, as the crisis has been continuing for 5 long days now, with the entire situation having in fact begun in the month of November itself.